Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in on this beautiful day. You are now tuning into the Night Shift podcast from downtown Toronto with your host, Big Skinny.
Welcome to the Night Shift podcast. Better have your headphones in. Sit back, relax, and that smoke and shut up. Show's about to happen. Welcome to the Night Shift podcast. Better have your headphones in. Sit back, relax, and that smoke and shut up. Show's about to happen.
What's going on, everybody? It's Terrence, back at it again for another episode of the Night Shift podcast. Right now, this episode I'm going to be talking about pretty much the first grown-up problem that I've had to face in a very long time.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Other than paying first and last month's rent and fucking a whole bunch of other things. So it all started maybe like 3-4 weeks ago. I was out with some friends. We're gonna go check out prices for suits and stuff like that for a wedding, and we all decided that we were gonna go out to eat. So after we all go out and eat, we're hanging out. We're at a restaurant called Caribbean Heat. I definitely recommend y'all checking that out. They got some banging spicy shrimp and some wings, and they got some good chow mein too. They got a bunch of good food. It's Caribbean Asian inspired food there. So we went there, we're hanging out, we're having a few drinks, you know, having a good time, seeing the boys, you know. And while I'm eating, I'm enjoying the shit out of this fucking food. I bite into a piece of fucking shrimp, and all I heard was a crack. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I put my tongue to the side of my mouth now, and I feel a crack in my tooth, like a huge hole. And I'm like, fuck. As soon as I felt that hole, I was like, God damn.
I'm so ugly, man. Oh my gosh.
All I could see is dollar signs swinging around my head. I swear to God, that's all I saw. And I look at the guys and I'm like, yo, I just fucking cracked my tooth. These guys are like, no fucking way. I'm like, dog, look at this. Open my mouth. Fucking look in the mirror. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm done. So I go home now, and I'm not feeling any pain, not feeling any issues with it, except where it was chipped, it was cutting into my mouth. So I was like, hey, fuck, I gotta definitely go check this shit out. So the next day I go to the dentist and I go and check this out, right? So I'm looking I'm calling around different dental offices looking for prices of how much it'll cost just for a checkup for them to look at my mouth. A bunch of places were saying $120, $150, and I guess that's like standard in Toronto. I had to call a friend of mine's wife to let me know what the cost was because she works in the dental industry. So she's telling me that's pretty standard in Toronto. But she told me to keep calling around and see. So I found a spot near me where it was $60. I'm like, all right, pay $60, go in, check it out. They'll let me know how much it'll cost and what I can do. So I go in there now, book an appointment, and I end up going and sit in the chair. The dentist looks at my mouth, and she's just like, okay, we gotta do an x-ray right away. And I'm like, fuck, I have to do an x-ray. X-rays are like another $80 to $100. So that's like $160 to $140 I gotta pay that same day. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, fuck, man. If I'm paying that just for them to see me, imagine what the fuck it's gonna cost me for them to fix my mouth.
What more do you want from me?
So we get the shit checked out, whatever, and she comes back and she's like, the tooth was broken so bad that we're gonna have to give you a root canal. And I'm like, a root canal? The fuck is a root canal?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You know, I've never had to do that in my life. I don't even know anyone that's had that done to them that I can speak to about that shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? So she breaks it down for me where they break the tooth, they go into each of the roots of the tooth. There's 3 roots in a tooth, and they have to clean it out, and then they fill it, and then they fill the tooth after. And then later on, I might have to get a crown. So the whole time she's telling me this, I can't even focus on what the fuck she's telling me. Because everything going on in my head is how much fucking money is this thing gonna cost me? If they're gotta be digging in my fucking tooth, going all Grey's Anatomy on my fucking mouth, right? So I'm talking to her now. She's like, you can do it. You can either do it today. We can try and do it today, or you can think about it and come back. So I'm like, fuck, I'm already here. Like, how much is it gonna cost? She's like, well, today I can charge you $200 for everything that we did, but the root canal alone is gonna cost you $1,000 to $1,200. I was like, what? $1,000 to $1,200 off of eating some motherfucking shrimp? Oh my god! So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. What should I do, right? I'm already sitting in the fucking chair. So I'm like, fuck it. Do what you can do right now. So we go in, they're digging in my mouth, they're doing all that shit. I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, man. I've been in the chair. I had the appointment for 5 o'clock. I didn't get out of there till 7. And they didn't even finish the entire root canal. So like I said before, there are 3 roots in your tooth. They had only got 2 of the roots. She could only find 2. So I had to get another appointment for 2 weeks later with the specialist inside of that dental office so he could find the other fucking root in my tooth. So I'm like, oh my god. So they put a temporary filling in, and I'm sitting down now and I'm like, fuck, I gotta pay all this money. And where it starts to hit me now with this whole first time having to deal with some grown up problems is I didn't have any fucking dental benefits. So when you don't have dental benefits, like, that's something that everybody should have. Like, I wasn't paying into any, like $50, $60, $70 a month in case something like this happened to me, because I'm 29 right now. I've never had to deal with something in 29 years of my life. I never had to deal with that since I was a little kid. So I'm sitting here now, I'm like, fuck, I gotta pay out of pocket for this shit when I make enough money that I could have just been paying $50, $60 a month just so that in case something like this happens, I don't gotta worry about it. I spend more money at the LCBO and motherfucking Manchu Walk at the mall a month than fucking $60. I would have been fucking more than happy to pay that shit. So my advice to everybody is, if you can and you do not have dental benefits, you can put aside even like $30 a check to put that shit away just so you can have certain benefits for your eyes, for your teeth, for fucking anything. Yo, y'all need to do that, man, because this shit's fucking crazy. So I ended up going in. They booked me in for the other appointment. I went in for the appointment now. So I already paid $200 towards whatever I was paying. So they told me it was going to be $1,000. So boom, it was $800 left I had to pay. So I'm like, all right. So I go in yesterday. The guy does the root canal. Took me another 2 hours to deal with. And because I was in there for 2 hours, he didn't even get to finish. So they had to put another non-permanent filling just so that there's not a fucking hole in my tooth. So I go outside now and I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna cost me $800 more. Like, is that including the filling? Is that including, like, if I have to get a crown? Like, what is that including? She's like, well, it's the $800 you have left, and also it's gonna be $300 for the filling. $300 more for the fucking filling.
Bitch, I'm broke. I'm unemployed.
Come on, dog. I was like, you gotta be that's rent. My mouth is literally worth rent right now. Just one tooth, not even the whole mouth. One fucking tooth is worth rent right now. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. So they sent me away now and I'm like, yo, how the fuck you guys want me to pay this? I don't have dental benefits. I don't have any of that shit. I'm gonna have to figure this out. So luckily enough, I got lucky and they set me up on a payment plan. But dog, I don't wish this on nobody. If you are over the age of 25, you're done school, and you know you sort of got your life like on track right now, you need to start paying into that shit. Real talks. You have to start doing that. Like, this is no joke for me. So I can only imagine someone else that's having an even harder time affording that shit. So y'all need to figure that shit out. And it's crazy. Every time I kept going back, the price kept going up. The price just kept going up. I was like, what the fuck? And that's not even including if I have cavities in my mouth. They didn't even look for that. They were just looking at that one fucking tooth, and I can bet your ass I at least have 1 or 2 cavities in my mouth because of how much sweets I eat and because of how much of a fucking sweeter man I am.
Stop the motherfucking music. You. Are you dumb?
Like, but, you know, such is life, and that's the certain things you gotta deal with. So that's my trip to the dentist story. And I guess maybe this is another funny thing that happened too, is that I guess it's because it's a dental office in Parkdale. Guess what, this fucking receptionist did? So when I asked her about the payment plan, she's like, okay, whatever. And they already worked on my teeth, so I could have just fucking ran. Like, they didn't have no information from me, no nothing. I had just paid, so I could have literally just fucking ran. These guys are idiots. But I'm a nice guy, and I'm not trying to get arrested because of my fucking teeth. That'd be embarrassing. But she asked me for my fucking ID. She's like, do you have a driver's license? Or a health card? I was like, yeah, why? She's like, oh, okay, well, can you just give me one of them just so that I can take a photocopy of it in case, like, you know, I'm not saying that you're not going to. I'm not saying you're not going to. But what I'm saying is, if you do run away, we have a way of finding you. I was like, you have my full name. I'm sure you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I don't fucking know. It's really not that hard. I've had friends find girls that they met at the club and only got their first name, and somehow they miraculously found their IG. So I'm sure it's not that hard for you to find that shit. But yeah, so that's pretty much my story. Warning everybody to get their fucking teeth checked out, because yo, it is no motherfucking joke. And yo, you need to get benefits if you don't have it. So y'all have a good day. This is my trial and tribulation for the night. So y'all take it easy. Big Skinny out. Like, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Night Shift Podcast. Y'all have a good night.